Hello and welcome, you can see my reflection, to a video review of AMC's, this is a reissue, The Governor. So you can see them, you can see there he is in packaging, sorry about that. Got his gun there, he's got another gun up here, knife, two separate heads, pretty basic looking figure. You just have his picture on the back. So yeah, we'll get him opened up and take a look. Alright, so here we have Philip, or Brian, out of the packaging. And you're probably wondering, if you've never seen the show or read the comics, why I called them two different names. Read the comics or watch the show. I mean, the show really doesn't go into it, at least I don't remember if it does or not. I know the comic goes into it a little bit more. I'm not going to give any spoilers for a show that ended, I don't know how many years ago, and a comic that ended quite a while ago. But before we take a look at him, we are going to look at his alternate head, which you can see he's got the bandage when Michonne just stabbed it out with the glass from the fish tank. It's all pretty nicely sculpted and painted. There is a issue with this figure, but we'll get into it when we look at him proper. You see some of the paint right there is a little sloppy, but set that off to the side. We have his handgun here, which is just cast in black plastic. It doesn't look like there's a wash. Come on. I'm not too knowledgeable on guns. I know a little bit, but I'm not sure what model gun this is. Yeah, just basic molded handgun. You have his other gun with the shoulder strap. Sorry about that. My cat's trying to take the remains of the package from me. You can see some bits of wash, but it's really weird. It's only on the scope and the barrel. And it's only on one side, so it is a little weirdly painted. I don't drop it. And it's kind of, the barrel feels really thin, so I'd be really careful with that. It's on the barrel on both sides, but it's only on the scope on one side, so it looks a little wonky. And the strap is made out of a soft plastic, very soft. I would just be careful on the connection points. And his knife, which is really weird. It's really blunt, and you notice it is a little warped. Got some nice painting on the handle. That is because he does have holsters for them. Get his arms out of the way. There's a holster for the knife, and it goes in tight. Extremely, extremely tight, and I feel like I'm going to snap the knife. The handgun doesn't fit because this holster is too tight. See some copyright logo there. It's so tight that it actually starts to push it back out. So if I have the handgun in there, you just slowly see it pop up until it literally falls out or gets caught in his jacket. So I don't have him with those in hand, or in holster I should say, but you can put the gun in his hand. Either hand works. Before I do that, before I forget, I had thought maybe it was painted on blood. The hands are very badly painted. You can just see how much overspray or overpaint they did. So he's got like Toxic Avenger hands, so his hand is unusable. I can't put anything in there because of the paint has it all connected, so it is a solid mass. So if I go to move the hand enough to stretch it to get anything in there, it just flakes off. This side's not so bad, but you can just see on that pointer finger. But we'll get his handgun in his hand. And again, it's really tight because of the paint. And the way it's painted, the trigger finger hand really can't go into the trigger guard. So he kind of holds it really weird. And the hands are tight too. The plastic is not as malleable as I would like. So you can get him holding it decently. Kind of, sort of. Because again, the amount of paint that's on there, it's so thick that it won't fit in the trigger guard, so I'd actually have to shave it down to get to fit. But you can kind of fudge it a little bit, kind of work it down further. But even then, it doesn't look that good. And so, yeah, he doesn't really hold it. He holds it tightly, but it just doesn't look that good because of the amount of paint. It's too thick to actually fit in there. So we'll remove his gun, and it is hard to get in and out of his hand because of that region of paint that is in there. And even on the palms, it's super globbed on, so his hands are thicker than they should be. So the other gun doesn't fit whatsoever in his hands. The knife fits. The knife fits nicely in either hand. I'm probably sounding like this is not a good figure. This is a good figure if you can get one. I got mine online, so if you could find these in person. This one's a little bit harder to fit in, but it does fit. If you could find one in person that has better painted hands, definitely look at the hands. Because this is basically unusable on this side. Because and I have them standing off side like this for a reason, because of the way that's painted, this physically will not fit in here. It kind of sort of fits in this hand. I'm going to do this off camera because it's super hard to do. You can almost get him to hold it. The sculpt of the gun, it's weird to begin with, so he really can't hold the gun very well. Plus the paint is super thick. So let me see if I can kind of fudge it a little bit here. Okay, so we'll get that hand on that handle. You can kind of sort of get him to hold it in a way. He can't shoulder it because of the sculpt of the gun. He can't physically do it. You probably can if you force it. Come on. I mean, he just can't. So that's my main gripe with this figure, is he really can't shoulder it that well. The strap's not really long enough to go over his shoulder like that, so you can kind of almost do it in a sense, but then the articulation's just not good enough to hold it at all. So I mostly just have it looped over his shoulder or something. I would just kind of have it on one shoulder, maybe like that. Kind of sucks, because we do see this in a very pivotal moment. But we're going to move that out of the way and get into the alternate heads. So we do have his eye patch head. Likeness is pretty decent. This is an older mold, just re-released. So likeness is pretty decent, same hair sculpt and everything. Swapping them is actually fairly easy, considering the hands that I fought with for like 3 minutes. Come on. Maybe. I think I jinxed myself. I think I'm running into another issue here. Okay. So, another issue. You're probably noticing his neck seems really long. This head only goes on that far. It doesn't go on all the way. So yeah, there's that issue. The ball peg, the way it sits on there in this hole, I might be able to heat it up and force it. I'm just not going to force it any more than that. But so yeah, removing the head is actually really easy on this figure. But yeah, we're just going to leave him with the eye patch on. Anyways, we'll get into articulation before this video drags on any longer. Shoulders, move outward that far. Nothing is stuck on this figure either. So you get him in that T-pose. You got ratcheted elbows, elbow swivel, which will do a full 360. Same kind of ratchet joints at the hand. This one is a little stiff, but not bad. You only get one click, so it's not too bad, but you can rotate it to kind of facilitate your needs. Same with on this side with his weird oven mitt, kind of Toxic Avenger hands. Nothing at the waist. If you had a waist joint, it would make holding that gun just a little bit easier. Ball joint at the hips that can move outward that far, forward that far, back that far. 90 degrees, a little under 90 degrees, and it's more of a knee swivel. That will do a full 360 feet. I mean, the feet are basically static. You're not going to get much posability out of him from basically the shoulders down. He does have some issues standing. I kind of have to break the sculpt a little bit, but there you have McFarlane Toys, AMC The Walking Dead, The Governor. I am looking at getting the comic version with the one arm. A little bit of a spoiler there, but not found that one for a decent price yet. I do have other Walking Dead figures. Let me know if you want me to review them. I just have mostly both Riot Gear Zombies, the Flu Walker, and Michonne's Pet Walker. One of them at least, because this was the era of McFarlane Walking Dead figures I was collecting, was when they got to the prison. After that, I kind of, because he's kind of small. I think he's close to 5 inches, so he doesn't fit in with a whole lot. So just keep that in mind if you're getting into these. Just know they are a bit smaller and they are a bit wonky with the accessories. They're not always perfect. They have some issues, but let me know what you think of the figure. Let me know what you think of this review, and I will catch you next time.